With the bull market in full swing in gold and silver, these are 5 tips which are going to help you win in investing in gold and silver. These tips are for people who are first-time beginner investors all the way up to more advanced investors, and it's going to help you understand how to take advantage of this bull market, some tips to have along the way. And I've been involved in investing for a couple of years now, and I've made my mistakes along the way. So you can learn a thing or two as I've invested, as I've made my mistakes, and hopefully this will help you with your own journey. First tip I give you is buy physical. Buy physical means you're actually buying the physical metal that you can hold in your hands. Now, you can buy gold and silver in a few different ways. You can buy it through mining stocks. However, is that really going to affect the supply and demand of gold and silver? And the other big one is ETFs. History shows over and over again that when things happen and gold and silver goes on a massive bull run, the ETFs are left behind, as at the end of the day, it's the gold and silver physically that's running out. Don't test history and don't test God's money. At the end of the day, truly, this is the way to invest. And if you look at history over and over again, you prove to be a winner when you buy it physically in your hand and buy bullion bars. Secondly, it's important to understand your definitions and your numbers. So I'm going to go over a few key definitions and numbers. Firstly, what is a spot price? What is a premium? What is the total weight of metal measured in? And what is the gold to silver ratio? These are details you have to know, and I'm just going to quickly recap these so that you're up to date. It's more of a beginner thing, but you still have to understand this even as an advanced investor. So the spot price is the universal market price for the delivery of gold and silver. And this price is universal everywhere, meaning whatever bullion shop you go to, wherever you invest, this is the price of gold and silver. The premium is the amount you pay above the spot price. So this usually includes things like dealer purchasing, the manufacturing, the shipping, and the general market demands and shortages that happen along the way. Usually the smaller the amount of silver you buy, the higher the premium, which we're going to go over later. What is the weight of metal measured in? This is a mistake that everyone makes. A lot of the time you'll see on a bar the amount of ounces it has, and people just think it's a classic ounce. But silver and gold is actually measured in this thing called a troy ounce, which has a slight difference. The classic troy ounce, which is what we use for gold and silver, has 32.15 ounces in a kilo, versus a normal ounce that has 35.274 ounces in a kilo. So it's important to understand that we measure in troy ounces and not normal ounces. This is a classic mistake that people make. And lastly, the gold to silver ratio. It's a metric that we investors use to understand how gold valued in terms of silver and which of one of these assets are overvalued or undervalued. Usually what we do is we get the price of gold and divide it by the price of silver. And we use this thing called the 80-50 rule, meaning when the gold to silver ratio is above 80, we say that you should generally be investing in silver. When it's between 80 and 50, we buy a mix of both gold and silver. And when it's below 50, we buy gold. It's important to understand it so you can choose which metal to take advantage of, which one's undervalued and which one's overvalued. It changes over time and it has its cycles, and you'll understand which one is best. Number 3, limit your premiums and buy in bulk. This is a critical one, and over time, you're going to save a lot of money on your silver, make a lot more profit from it. This is more of a silver thing, but as well it matters with your gold. So I'm going to show you 2 prices for silver. So we've got, and this is in Australian dollars, you've got a 1 kilo bar, which costs $2,060. If we divide that by 32.15, the cost per ounce is close to $64. Versus if I just buy a 10 ounce bar for around $685, that will come to $68 per ounce. The premium is always smaller for bigger assets. And the point of this is to understand that when you buy bigger, you're actually saving money, despite the fact that you're paying more upfront. So when you invest, don't invest small dollar cost average amounts. Actually buy big and buy in bulk. That's why the 1 kilo bar is generally suggested as the best asset in terms of investing in the silver space. And in terms of gold, if you can afford it, the 1 ounce. However, that's pretty expensive, so I also recommend the 1/10 of an ounce, which is also a handy investment. So the catch-22 to that, however, is that the smaller you buy, the more flexibility you have. For example, what would you prefer to own? 5 1 kilo bars or 1 5 kilo bar? The point is that when you sell, you only have one opportunity to sell off that 1 5 kilo bar. Versus if you've got 5 1 kilo bars, you can pick your correct points to sell. And if you only want to sell a bit of your assets, you can put just the 1 kilo bar away, and you can keep your other 4 for a later day. In general, my preference is always buying the 1 kilo bar. It's my favorite asset, and in terms of silver, it's my go-to. Number 4, track your bullion. This one's critical, and the amount of pain that I've seen people go through in this section is unbelievable. Once you've purchased a lot of gold or silver, and even a lot of people actually track where their investments are at on a piece of paper. You see, gold and silver isn't exactly like your classic investing in stocks where you can check your phone quickly and see your ups and downs. You actually need to be able to calculate this against the spot price. A lot of people actually do this on a pen and paper. However, what I've got is an Excel sheet where you can easily track your numbers, you can enter your purchases, and it's really simple. Link in the description below to get that. It's for free. All I ask in response is that you like and subscribe this video if you're enjoying the content I'm giving you. Trust me, tracking your gold and silver will save you in the long run. And I'm telling you, I've seen people who've had large amounts and they just don't know where their numbers are at, and they're blind to what's going on. And number 5 is build a relationship with your bullion dealer. If you're buying physical metals, your golds and silvers, you're going to be going to your local coin shop and bullion dealers. You want to be able to build regular relationships with the owners or the people that are serving you. These people know a lot about the space, about gold and about silver. And by building a relationship with them, you're able to ask them questions and they're able to help you out. The amount of handy deals that I've got from my bullion dealer has been priceless, and being able to learn so much from them. Often I come into the store thinking I want something and they've got something even better. And they're not salespeople. They can't rip you off, because at the end of the day, the spot price is the spot price, and the premium is collated to how much you're buying. You buy small, the premium goes up, and if you buy in bulk, the premium goes down. So they're just trying to help you. They can't be salespeople, and that's the beauty of the bullion space. As you buy regularly from them, they'll look after you and they'll have better stash available for you, and you'll actually be able to build close relationships. It's a really underrated one which people don't talk about, but if you're loyal to your bullion dealer, they often give back to you. That's my 5 tips in investing in gold and silver and actually winning in the market. Follow these steps and I promise you it will take you a long way. I've followed these later on in my journey and I've done really well with it, and I wish I did some of these sooner, especially the tracking one, which I recommend. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this provided value from you, and I hope you learned. This is for beginners as well as experts to take on going forwards. Enjoy the bull market. I can't wait to see you in the next video.